the point of these videos is that I feel like I can give other people a voice, other people that have and are going through this experience. Like, the news is just a fraction of what is actually really happening. You know, there's a lot of people that without money, homeless, people that are getting kicked out of their houses, or when the flood happened, I didn't think that I'd be homeless, but it's become apparent that it depends really, like, sort of on the real estate agent and stuff like that as to whether or not I'm going to end up homeless. I'm trying to, like, fight to stay here. That's how it feels. I don't know, when I talk to the real estate agent on the phone, I get confused as to what they're actually trying to say, because they sort of say things in a roundabout way. But the flood took away my furniture, and I don't care about that. But the flood didn't take away my home, and it's my home that I'm trying to save. I can't remember if I said in previous videos, but my work was 3 blocks down from my house, and it was way more damaged than my house. It's completely, the whole thing's just completely damaged. Okay, so I'm here at the Mason Bridge, that bridge that I keep banging on about. It's the bridge that cuts you off from the south side, so the side towards Cairns. It says, you know, indicators show depth, but I can't. Each time I've driven over, I can't see anywhere where it actually shows you the depth of it. And this is the bridge that I find concerning, that there is no plotting graph, so you can't see, oh, this is the bridge and this is where the water's at, so you can see when the water is about to go over. I wrote it down because someone at 8:30 posted that it had just gone under, so I know now when it's 9, but the water's different every time, so I don't know, that's the thing. That's why there needs to be a plotting graph for here. I'm gonna go try and find the marker. This is like the last stop of the Barron River, the bridge, until it sort of goes past Machins and then out to the ocean. But I still can't see any flood markers, like there is none. But yeah, so the water went over this bridge. You can see it's an incredible amount of water. Most of the flood markers were completely under, as you can imagine. I can't even find, even online, somewhere where that says like how high this bridge is. I just don't understand why. And like, I'm not saying it would make a difference, I don't know. That's what I was trying to figure out before a flood ever happened. So if you haven't gathered already, I'm not a local. I'm originally from Bendigo, Victoria, and I've never lived in a flood zone or a place that has such a huge amount of like rainfall and water. So, you know, it was all a new experience to me to be surrounded by these rivers, which is why I was very much sort of like filming and curious as to, you know, what was going to happen. Like, the point of these videos is that I feel like I can give other people a voice, other people that have and are going through this experience. Like, the news is just a fraction of what is actually really happening. You know, there's a lot of people that without money, homeless, people that are getting kicked out of their houses, or, you know, the laws you know, state that you sort of got to keep paying rent even though, you know, our incomes have been lost. It's incredibly just, you know, I'm lost for words a lot of the time. Like, I'm trying to convey messages here, and I don't know that I'm doing a very good job, but I'm trying. That's all I can do. That's all I'm doing with everything, is I'm just trying. I feel quite vulnerable, like recording myself, sharing my story and everything, but at the end of the day, I just really, really, truly hope that there's somebody that I can help out there, whether that be like through information, awareness, personal experience, sharing the journey together, just in any way possible. Like hopefully somebody gets something out of the videos. This bit here got smashed the hardest. Creek. Looking pretty normal now. So this is the main road in, and one thing I don't understand is why the flood camera is not in this main road in and out. That obviously blocks you off from getting out. That's where the flood camera is on this bit here, which I don't understand. The other road went under before this even had a drop, but once it had water, that was it. I heard that Holloway's Island is now reconnected for Christmas, which I feel so happy for those people because they were stranded. The road fell away, the only road. I actually find it so amazing what people can achieve in such a small amount of time. Absolutely incredible. I wonder what the long-term plan for this place is. In terms of like future flooding and just how it's diverted itself. They'll just build a big bridge here or something, I don't know. Here comes the police. So the most amazing part about this thing is that there's a house there, a house there, a house there, and somehow this thing just managed to just smash through in the only vacant part of the Esplanade, the place where usually the backpackers park their vans here, away from all the houses. And in terms of flooding, you can tell who flooded and who didn't by their swimming pool colour. So all these people have blue swimming pools. They didn't get any floods here at the front of the Esplanade. So Cyclone Jasper had priorities. He went all around the pizza shop, the cafe, Liquorland, and he went around RGA, like all the essential services. I find it absolutely amazing. Only like one extremely big block away from my house. So I definitely thought it would all have gone under. Actually, in fact, when it was flooding, I thought all of Cairns was under. I was messaging people and they were just like, no water here. When the flood happened, I didn't think that I'd be homeless, but it's become apparent that it depends really like sort of on the real estate agent and stuff like that as to whether or not I'm going to end up homeless. So at the moment, I'm trying to like fight to stay here. That's how it feels. I don't know, when I talk to the real estate agent on the phone, I get confused as to what they're actually trying to say, because they sort of say things in a roundabout way. But one of the comments that they made is that they didn't want me to be in the house impeding people doing work to the house. And then that's what I replied back saying, you know, everything's out of the house and it's ready and waiting to get properly, like, professionally cleaned so that we can actually get the ball rolling. But in saying that, the assessors have to come first and assess the property, and they're all on holidays because it is like in between Christmas and New Year's, so nothing's going to happen until next year. I actually am, like, how I'm feeling at the moment is like hopeful. I'm not absolutely devastated because I feel like there's a good chance that I could end up back here living and rebuild, and that's what I want. However, as the weeks unfold, if that's not how it unfolds, there's going to be moments, I guess, again of, what do you call it? Moments of like, you know, realization and stuff like that. So yeah, it took me, you know, the hardest part about this with the cleanup. So I did a really good job of cleaning the floor. Okay, so for other people, well, I mean, we didn't have power for like 5 days. We didn't have water for about 2. So on the day, I actually was able to clean the floor and get things done because I had containers and stuff outside full of water, like still dirty water, but cleaner than what was in here. So I used that to clean all this out so that I was able to start sorting all of my stuff. But people were expressing to me that they were surprised that my life sort of hadn't gone back to normal. And I really kind of can't understand that, like, because I had a holiday booked to Victoria as well. And people were like, oh, well, at least you've got your holiday. And I was just like, okay, in the middle of this, you don't know how long it's going to take, you know. But I had to move everything from the rooms into this area here where there was some airflow and where there wasn't carpet. I wasn't allowed to remove the carpet, and the moisture was just like seeping into everything above. So everything had to get moved out of the bedrooms ASAP into here, and then I thought, well, the power will come on soon. That didn't happen, so then everything had to go off the ground outside on non-contaminated surface. So it was a really big process. Like, you couldn't drop anything; it would just have to get turfed if it ended up in the muddy water and whatever. So, you know, everything had to be sprayed, wiped, sorted. It wasn't just as simple as like, okay, grab the stuff, put it in a tub, and then go outside. Like, everything had to stay off the ground. And so, you know, it's going to take a bit before I can actually move in again. Obviously, the bathroom here has to be replaced. And all the doors. Look at all the doors. They're all wrecked, all the doors. So, not sure why people think that once a flood comes, I mean, if there was water and there was power, you know, things may have not panned out so bad, but we just had like everything against us in that regard. And so, yeah, the kitchen, essentially, if it's done properly, it all needs to come out because all the water has soaked in to all the wooden surfaces. And yeah, it's a pretty old kitchen as it is. There's 2, I think only 2, 3 actually, that's a water leak too. So these water leaks weren't here before all the rain, but yeah, like that just grew out of control really quickly. We're not sure, you know, if the hot water system and things like that work, but need to get the assessor in so that can be done, and then it can be cleaned. And essentially, best case scenario, as soon as I can sleep in a room, then it's partially livable, and then I should be paying partial rent and continue to live here and, yeah, see the place get rebuilt. Basically, look, there's some mould up here. Like, it's just, I've sprayed that a couple of times, so it doesn't look as bad as it could. But yeah, all these doors here, they'll all need essentially to be replaced or properly, professionally cleaned. Don't know. My biggest concern with the kitchen, if they were like, oh, we can save it, is that, you know, you've got this cavity in here and water was seeping out of there. So, like, I mean, you can't really clean in there. Like, it's sort of something that I feel like needs to come out. It's disgusting. But yeah, like all the paint as well, all the paint's like ruined. That's all going to have to, like, the whole place is going to have to be repainted. So I don't know, I'm trying to to come back here and live, even if it meant like, you know, sort of cancelling my lease and then renewing it, which is something that's possible, but it's all up to the real estate agents. And they do what they like. They're not in the best interest of me, you know what I mean? So I met with the owner. I was really lucky because I felt like the real estate was trying to kick me out, and then the owner came here and she gave me her word that this will be my place when it's rebuilt. But obviously we all don't know how everything's going to pan out, so it depends on the situation. In total, it took me about 5 days to do all the cleanup and sorting and removal, and then moving my stuff into storage. But there's people that had a lot more stuff than me. I see myself as a minimalist. I didn't have a lot of furniture. I had very basic stuff. So there wasn't a lot to lose, really. I spent all my money on the garden because outside and having a garden is what I find most enjoyable. But yeah, there's been people that spent, you know, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and they're still sorting their stuff. And it's exhausting. It's really, really exhausting. As soon as I got my stuff out, like the relief was just so big. When I emailed the real estate, I was just basically like, the flood took away my furniture, and I don't care about that. But the flood didn't take away my home, and it's my home that I'm trying to save. I do wonder about the neighbours as well. Like, pretty much no one can live, like no one can sleep in their house. Like they have to be in a tent outside or at someone else's house. I don't know. I don't know where other people have gone, to be honest, and where they're living and what's happening. But next door, I don't know. I think it was really upsetting to them. So they just, and how everything panned out, I think they just wanted to never return again. So that's really disheartening to me that, yeah, they won't be my neighbours anymore. So I'm on the fence with the real estate. I really don't know what they're trying to do and not do. So they have given me temporary accommodation, which I'm pretty sure by law the real estate agent doesn't have to do. So in that regards, they have looked after me. However, all the temporary accommodation is like non-dog friendly, so it's not really a shorter long-term solution, if that makes sense. But, you know, there's another part of me, I'm like, if I get told, no, you have to leave, you can't live here anymore, or in the future, or whatever, I'm better off just going on Centrelink, buying a van and hitting the road again and just going and making some new plan. Because I'll just honestly think like, oh my God, you know, everyone makes it so difficult to continue, you know, to rebuild and live your life again, that it's just like, oh, you know, it just gets easier just to get on Centrelink. The day that the real estate agents come to visit me at my house was the most devastating day that I had. It was mentally the most hardest day. I was unsure to what they were trying to tell me. I didn't know if they were trying to kick me out or help me stay there. I have no idea. It was very confusing what they were saying to me. And then so I went on to the RTA and I found the natural disasters laws, and I was actually shocked to find that it was kind of like in the real estate agent's favour over the person that lives there. So I feel like the laws need to be changed. So what I thought would happen is that my tenancy would sort of just go on pause for say a month until they like clean the house so that it's not against like health and safety risks, so that it's safe to sleep in there. and and then it will be partially livable. But the thing is that currently at this moment the property is unlivable. It's unlivable due to health and safety risks. So if the real estate agent didn't get in there and clean up, they can just feel like this property is unlivable, and then that's lawful for them to end my tenancy and kick me out, basically. So it's kind of up to the real estate and how they decide they want to handle the situation. If they rather just kick people out because it's easier to get rid of them. And people also mention things like, well, they can get more rent when they get new tenants in. So they have no obligation to look after you, essentially. And also, while the property, if you decide to stay there, you have to pay rent. So, which is quite difficult when there's a loss of wages for you trying to clean up and remove your items from the house so that it can be properly cleaned, so that you can make it partially livable. And there is rent reductions, but if you go too far in the reductions, well then it counteracts that, and then they go back to saying, oh well, it's not livable. So if the real estate is cooperative, the best case scenario is that they will clean up the house so that it passes health and safety, and then it is partially livable and I can live in there. However, if they do want to get rid of me, all they have to do is just say, okay, it's against health and safety risks, there's mold in here, etc., etc., and they can serve me with a notice to leave, basically. And you can fight it, but when it comes to health and safety, they're pretty much not gonna be on your side there. But so there needs to be something in here. I would love to help change the law here, that there's something where it's temporarily unlivable, where there's a time frame here where you say, okay, the property's unlivable, that's fine, the person can't live here due to health and safety risks. However, as soon as we get it fixed, they can come back and live. That's what's missing from this law here. So, but, so this is just a waiting game. It's day by day. We are how many days in? I think I moved out 5 days ago or something, and there's still been no assessor come yet to assess the property. So, yeah, it's a waiting game and waiting for the assessor to come, and then...
I can't remember if I said in previous videos, but my work was 3 blocks down from my house, and it was way more damaged than my house. It's completely, the whole thing's just completely damaged. So I was quite upset to find that not only had I lost my house, I had also lost my job all in the one day. But in saying that, my boss is amazing, so she's found a new place for us to run the centre. I'm a disability support worker, but it's kind of like more, it's respite for the aged, overnights and days. But in saying that, so the centre will go on and the job will be there, but at the moment, my mental capacity, my brain is just fried at the moment. Just the most simplest tasks are really difficult. Just processing things. I can't multitask at the moment. I can only do one thing at a time, and obviously with all my life in scrambles and everything disorganised, sometimes it's even hard just to find a t-shirt to wear. So I pretty much feel like my friend has been my carer for the last couple of days. It's just an overwhelming overload. So for me, my job is a challenging job. We have at least 20 clients with early onset dementia and other things like that. So it actually takes a lot of your mental capacity to take care of other people. So the thing I find most stressful is having to go back to work, between that and not mentally being able to really cope with working. It's kind of a bit difficult. I feel like I could probably work 2, maximum 3 days a week at the moment. Hopefully the weeks get easier and this is just like a faint, distant memory and thing. I am starting to sleep more than 3 hours a night now, so that might help. All I really feel like doing, when I get in the car and I just crank the music up and it just makes me feel so incredibly good. I just want to get in the car and just keep driving and driving and driving. After an event like this, I just feel like it would be so nice just to have 2 weeks where I could just drive off somewhere and just escape it all. So I'm a disability support worker, and one day when I was at work with my client, and he had this book, and so I read my birth date, I also read other people's birth dates, and they were kind of like horoscopes, it's like, oh, people born on this day, things tidy and neat and clean. And then when I read mine, it was like the life of unpredictable fate, and I was really freaked out by it. I was reading it and going, what the hell? And it was in your mid-30s, which that's me now, they were like, oh, you're going to experience unpredictable fate. And yeah, let me read out the book to you. Those born on September 6th are extremely vulnerable to the hidden workings of chance. More than others, their lives seem guided by the hand of fate, for better or worse. For many born on this day, life may be proceeding predictably, when seemingly for no reason at all, whammo,